I know I don't usually do game analysis introductions, but I have a story to tell this time, so I'll leave this time code here. After playing Summer Sports Paradise Island, I questioned to myself why there weren't more mini-golf games on the Wii. I like mini-golf, and video games can make mini-golf more creative and fun. So I went looking, and I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed by the selection. Now, I'm not a heartless monster, you know, I gave each of those a fair shake. But most of them were either too generic or frankly complete shovelware, and they weren't worth anyone's time. So I was about to give up on this whole mini-golf game on the Wii nonsense. But in the last throes of my desperate search for an interesting mini-golf game on the Wii, a dark horse rode in, or stumbled in, sideways, and just kind of fell over in front of me. And the name of that clearly drunken dark horse was King of Clubs. At first glance, King of Clubs may look like more shovelware, and at first I was convinced it was too. But it has something that set it apart from all the other shovelware. Let's see if you can figure out what it is.
Under the blistering heat of the Nevada desert sun, 5 men.
There are 6 of them.
6 men struggle against the odds. Hazards block their every path. Traps have been set for them around every corner. The very elements seem to be against them. And if that wasn't enough, they're gonna have to do it all in stupid costumes.
You got to be kidding me!
You sure all the other costumes are gone?
It sure ain't no fun, baby,
Hey, Buckethead, get your putt over here.
Yo, look, Mama, I'm on TV.
You do know that mask looks rather silly, don't you?
Dude, you have a bucket on your head.
Okay now, boys. Let's keep it clean out there, okay? I don't want to see no spitting, quitting, and no out-of-bounds hitting. Y'all with me? Yeah. Oh, man. Well, thank y'all very much.
Perhaps I should play the caveman?
That's right, it had personality, it had soul, it had a setup I just couldn't resist. As far as mini-golf games go, you can't hope for a more enticing story than a questionable mini-golf business set up in the middle of the Nevada desert with 5 separate mascots themed after their 5 courses. And this atmosphere is what sold me on the game. I didn't care anymore if it was terrible, it needed to be preserved. But after reading up on the motion controls and how they worked, I had this sinking feeling I wouldn't be able to complete King of Clubs. Now, Sid the Dummy, that's one thing, but a mini-golf game where the motion controls are questionable, I'm not sure that's gonna pan out. Oh, holy shit, is that a PSP version? Alright, let's do this shit. So this may surprise you to hear, but King of Clubs is actually pretty damn good. It advertised itself as an action puzzle game, but literally all mini-golf is by default, including real-life mini-golf, so that doesn't mean anything. The game has 2 types of shots you need to worry about making, and those are of course trick shots and timed shots. This means you'll need to rely on 2 game mechanics, and how those 2 game mechanics work make or break the game entirely. One of those mechanics being the game's standard power meter before you make your shot, and the other one of course being the game's physics. And I can proudly give King of Clubs the greatest praise by saying both of those work perfectly reliably and, most importantly, predictably. The position in which your golfer holds the club correlates well to the power meter, and sometimes you can play the game without even looking at the power meter and just judging by where the club is instead. Everything about the mechanics is very mild, if not exactly realistic, which means I found an unexpected sense of comfort even when making the scariest looking shots in the game. I was personally never frustrated by a single hole, and even things that would have looked absolutely terrifying to me if I were watching gameplay just seemed so incredibly normal and easy. But then it occurred to me, maybe everything I thought was easy and natural about the game wouldn't be so easy and natural to others. Just because I can jump my golf ball reliably over islands doesn't mean that everybody else can. So let's get into the most impressive part of the game, the anti-frustration features. Each round has 2 pars. There's the standard course par and a higher, easier par set by the course's rival, one of the 5 mascots. So even if you're not good enough for the normal par, there's a second easier par you can pass to still get through the course. And then there's the game's shop that you have access to before you start each round. There are new types of clubs you can unlock, such as putters that make your swing less or more hard, or wedges to send your ball flying over hazards. Then there are one-time power-ups that change the attributes of your ball to make it more bouncy or flighty or sticky. And my personal favorite, literal mulligan tokens that you can use to rewind time and try your shot again. You can buy them in packs to do it as many times as you need. The currency you use to buy these power-ups and anti-frustration features is gained by completing holes, and I'm sure you can see a problem here, right? But not to worry, because if you somehow suck so much that you can't complete even a single hole reliably, there are literal cash bags lying around on the courses that you can pick up by hitting them with your ball. So if you're really that bad at the game, grinding is absolutely an option, and it's easy to boot. And if that somehow isn't enough for you, if being able to bend the game mechanics in your favor, literally rewind time to try your shots again, and grind for cash is not enough for you, then you can also save before each and every hole. So save scumming is also a potential strategy. I've never seen a sports game so thoughtful to the player. It's possible to easily beat every hole without using any of these power-ups or anti-frustration features, at least in my experience. It feels like King of Clubs has its hand on your back, saying, "Hey buddy, I'm here if you need me, but I believe in you." The downside to all of this, of course, is that even if the game is challenging without the power-ups, it soon will be rendered unchallenging because you'll simply buy the power-ups to get past that hole you were stuck on. It's anti-frustration at its best, but it doesn't make for a very challenging game. And you know what? Fuck it, that's alright this time. The game is ultimately an exercise in very basic physics puzzles, but it's so outwardly nice, pleasant, and supportive of the player, and I can't find anything legitimately wrong with it, not a single thing. If you'd like to experience slightly above average physics puzzles, a wacky atmosphere, and incredibly lenient and forgiving game design, go play King of Clubs. You don't have a lot to lose here.